Aren't these evergreens stunning? So gorgeous. Even in the winter, they stay vibrant, reminding us that growth and life are still happening. This week at Spark Nature, we explored evergreen magic. And here's a peek at all of the fun that unfolded. Today was so much fun. I learned more than I've ever known about the trees that are here on my land. And it was really fascinating to see the children absorbed and engaged, taking notes and really studying all of these different details of 3 different evergreen trees. But my favorite part of the day was definitely making the ornaments. It was really cool to see them create these little small versions and then decorate them using sequins and puff paints and gems and jewels. And so we're hoping that the children end up gifting them to their parents or their grandparents and just having a keepsake and a token of this amazing day together. Here they are, the kids' beautiful miniature tree ornaments, all unique and so beautiful. Next up, Mr. Adam walks us through today's plan and objectives.
We can identify the differences between each of the conifers on the property here. So we're gonna go for our morning walk and just keep an eye open. And then for later on in the day, we're going to do an art project with Mr. Sebastian, making some Christmas ornaments to hang on our tree.
We're focusing on 3 main evergreens today: the Eastern hemlock, the Japanese red pine, and the Eastern white pine. We're also talking about the symbolism of the Christmas tree, since many of the children have Christmas trees in their home during this season. So we headed out for our morning walk, and to our delight, we found footprints in the snow, which we took guesses on what animal this could be. We also stopped over to our peace place to check in with our mandala that we created last week, and then strolled over to the meadow where we stopped at the big white pine to climb it and to say hello to it, and then settled into the meadow for our morning meditation.
Because pine trees, they show us how to be still in the winter time. In winter it gets cold, right? So let's take a deep breath. Imagine you're standing like these pines. They're the only green things in the whole forest. So take a big breath in. Close your eyes and imagine you're a pine tree. You can sit with your back straight. Sit with your back straight. A deep breath in, let it out. The air is cool, but it's also really clear and crisp, right? So most trees have already dropped their leaves. You look around, if your eyes are open, there's kind of brown, but we have these bright green trees here, the pine trees, to remind us that, you know, there is life in wintertime and there is energy. So with each inhale here, guys, take that cool breath into your lungs. Let it fill your lungs and fill your chest. And with each exhale, imagine, just let go of anything you don't really want. If anything another serves you, you don't need it anymore, let that all out. So go breathe in. And let it out. Now, picture a tall tree nearby. That pine tree you were just climbing. It's going up. It's rooted. Even in the wintertime, it's got its deep roots. It's still getting energy from the earth. And you're still getting energy from the earth even in wintertime. Its needles are nice and bright and green. It holds the color and the brightness for the season. And even those leaves, or those needles, they're going to sway gently with the wind. You can imagine yourself, you're swaying as your breath in and out. So take a big breath in.
Next up, it was time to forage for tea, grab our field journals, and settle in for our nature lesson with Mr. Adam, starting with the Eastern hemlock.
We're really going to focus in our journals today on the tree species of evergreens. But the arborvitae along the house, those are an evergreen in the cypress family, a bush. And then you guys pointed out, you guys are so clever, we also pointed out the bamboo doesn't lose its leaves either. It's an evergreen too. So evergreen, it's evergreen. It's always green throughout the year. The bamboo is an evergreen grass though. We're gonna focus on the evergreen trees this time. So the Eastern hemlock is one of the native trees to Pennsylvania. And if you let it live, it could live up to 800 years. So that's how we tell if it's a hemlock. See, there's 2 little light green stripes. And you know what those are? There's something called the stomata. That's where the tree breathes from. And this Japanese red pine behind us over here that we like to climb a lot. You'll notice when you look really close at the hemlock, the leaves are flat and soft, right? They're not as pokey. But if we go over to the Japanese red oak over here, it's gonna have long pokey needles. Oh, long, that's a difference too.
So the children took some time to observe the trees and write or draw in their field journals. This practice is a staple in our Forest School program because it strengthens focus, observational skills, and the ability to slow down and really see the natural world. It also builds attention to detail, supports early literacy, and helps kids develop a deeper, more personal connection with nature.
So one is the male and one is the female. One has the pollen that helps fertilize it, and the other one holds the seeds that drop down to try and make more baby hemlock trees over here, right? We're drawing things that we can see. You can draw a big pine cone and label it the female, and a little one and label it the male. Light green, dark green. There's two stripes of light green in there. And then the seeds, the girls are the larger ones and the boys are the smaller ones. The girls hold the seeds and the boys have the pollen to help pollinate the seeds. Scientists define trees because they don't say Japanese red pine. This one's called Pinus densiflora. So each of these trees, they're defined by their family and their species, right? And their genus, and then they kind of go into the different ways they cross. Different from a eastern pine is that the needles on the red pines, they come in pairs. There's two coming out of each little thing. And that's very distinctive to the red pines. And you can see how this one opened up and dropped her seeds. Bark is a little different than on the pine versus the hemlock, right?
Then the kids foraged for pine needles, filling a large mason jar before heading down to our final tree of the day, the beautiful eastern white pine.
Eastern white pine. This is our fun climbing tree, isn't it? I don't see any cones on this one. Maybe it dropped them, but if we step back, we might be able to see one or two at the top that are left over. This eastern white pine has long needles.
Once again, the children opened their field journals as we gave them space to take notes, sketch, and record whatever caught their eye. These simple pauses invite presence and wonder, helping them become attentive observers of the natural world. It's amazing what they notice when given time.
Now, like the red pine, this one has more of a symmetrical shape. It's almost like a triangle, right? Like your Christmas tree might be at home. Topically, they'd put it on and use the bark to help them heal their wounds.
Of course, the kids couldn't resist climbing this stunning tree, and we absolutely support that at Spark Nature. Tree climbing builds confidence, strengthens balance and coordination, and teaches kids how to assess real-world risk. After getting their wiggles out, it was time to switch to art. Luckily, one of our students helped Mr. Sebastian drill holes into each birch disc so they could be transformed into our ornaments.
Right? So the idea today is you're going to make your own ornament using 3 of the trees and the needles we found today. You're first going to find a tiny tree branch that is your tree trunk, okay? We're gonna pass some of these out. So we put the dates on the back. Remember, it's a miniature tree, right?
After choosing a branch for their tree trunk, the kids used freshly foraged pine to build their own miniature evergreens. Once the structure was set, they brought their trees to life with jewels and gems, puff paint, and endless imagination. These ornaments are true keepsakes for years to come. Just look at how incredible they turned out. Such a special day of evergreen magic. Here are our reflections.
The children learned about trees, we got to draw, we got to observe. Sketching in the journal is always a big favorite. And then actually making ornaments, considering it's the time of year, using the species found on the property. So cool. I loved how we worked smaller today. Usually work with big canvases, and working with a smaller disc for our ornament. They had to get really precise and create miniature versions of the trees they observed. So full circle.
The kids, they really enjoyed exploring all the different types of pine trees and evergreens that we have here on the property. Pointed out some cool stuff, like pointing out we have evergreen grasses like the bamboo and the arborvitae, cypress over there. And it was just really exciting to see how much they really got into it.
That's a wrap for week 11, Evergreen Magic. Today was wonderful, a little brisk, but full of awe and wonder. It felt amazing to learn about the evergreen trees growing right here on our land, and then create ornaments that reflected everything we explored together. As always, please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Help us to spread the spark and get yourself and your kids outside.